Hello. Welcome everyone to another day of daily LeetCode live streams. Happy Monday. If you're at the office, or maybe if you're listening from home, maybe you're a college student tuning in to try and get your daily dose of LeetCode, I'm happy to have everyone and anyone. So welcome again. Want to give some quick housekeeping things to take note of before we get started. So I think the first thing I should mention is next week I'm going to go back to my office. So pretty much since the beginning of the pandemic, since January of 2020, I've been working from home exclusively pretty much, which means that I have a lot of flexibility with how I do my day. I have a lot of, let's say, more time to do things. So because I'm going to start going to the office next week, things might slow down a little bit here. I'm going to try to do as much of this as I still can, but there might be some days where I might not be able to do a stream depending on how the day at the office goes. One thing I want to mention first of all is we're very close to getting to the community feature. I need 500 subscribers, and somehow literally this past night, like I went to sleep with like 401 subscribers and I got 34 since then. I don't know what happened today, but I'm extremely grateful for anyone who's been sharing this channel. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I really do hope that this has been useful for anyone that's watching. And if not fun or if not useful, hopefully somewhat entertaining and fun, you can sort of think of this as a podcast that you watch and listen to daily, just for something that you enjoy doing, like problem solving. So I think that's really cool. I'm hoping that by the time I get community, this is going to help me a lot with being able to communicate with you all, let you know how I'm feeling for the day, if I may or may not be able to do a stream, so on and so forth. The last thing I also want to mention is I'm going to be going on vacation in 14 days. And I'm going to disconnect completely from technology during my time off. But what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be recording videos ahead of time and scheduling them so that every day that I'm out, there'll still be a video for you to watch. Now, what that means is, for example, today I'm going to record, or rather right now we're going live. And then let's say we do like one or two or maybe three questions. When I do my recording, I'm going to continue on the same list. So in tomorrow's stream, you might see me start off from a different question. You might be wondering, well, how about the other questions? How come there's not a video for the questions you did? That's because they're part of a recorded video that will be released at a later date. It should pretty much be transparent to you. The only difference being that you'll know when it's time if I'm not doing daily live streaming anymore, but I'll continue communicating that with you all as we get closer. Okay, so I think that's enough talking. Let's go ahead and get started. This is going to be a shorter stream. Actually, from now until after my vacation, or actually from now until vacation, I'm going to be doing shorter live streams since I'm also going to be doing, like I'm going to do a half an hour live stream and a half an hour recorded video that will add up to an hour. So because I'm doing both those things, I'm going to keep these live streams a little bit shorter. All right, so without further ado, let's go ahead and get started, and let's get to the first question here. Hopefully it's a good one. 91578. Okay, so far that looks good. It's a high quality question. Let's see if we can figure it out. So this question is asking us, given two n by n binary matrices, so we know that this is a square, mat and target, return true if it is possible to make mat equal to target by rotating mat in 90-degree increments, or false otherwise. So I mean, the question that I see here, let's see, we can rotate mat 90 degrees clockwise to make mat equal target. It's impossible to make mat equal to target by rotating mat. We can rotate mat 90 degrees clockwise 2 times to make mat equal to target. So this almost reminds me of the question like rotate the array, but I can't imagine that we need to rotate the array, twice or anything like this. Or not twice, but some n amount of times until we see, okay, can we actually get there? I mean, if we've rotated the thing 360 degrees and it still doesn't equal, then maybe that's how we know that it's bad. But I don't think it's that. And let me rephrase that. If you've already done the question that asks you to rotate an array, imagine you had a function that rotated a 2D array for you, rotated a grid, and every time you rotated that grid, you would check to see if it equals the output. So you'd rotate the mat once and you'd check it against target. If it's the same, then we're good, else it's false. And I guess we do that a maximum of what, 4 times? Because by the time we got to 360 degrees, we'd done one full rotation and we know we can't do it, right? So I feel like that's not the way to go. But what can we do in this case? We can rotate mat 90 degrees clockwise to make mat equal target. Here it's impossible to make mat equal to target, and here we can rotate mat 90 degrees clockwise 2 times. So we can rotate it 180 degrees to make mat equal to target. So I mean, we already have the input and the output. Maybe that can help us, because when we're rotating an array, it's not giving us the output already. It's just asking us to rotate it and then print the output. But here we already have where we start and where we're going. And maybe just using that, we can figure it out. Like maybe there's something that always holds true when we're rotating it by 90 degrees. Now, what that thing is, that's what we're trying to figure out, right? So here, you know what we can do? What we can do, like if I'm looking at this real quick, if I rotate this, like let's see how this becomes if we rotate it just once 90 degrees. Like right now this is 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1. But if we look at the next increment 90, it becomes what? 1, 0, 0, 1, 0. Okay, so that thing's on top now. 1, 0, 0, and then you get 1, 1, 0, and then 1, 0, 0. Oh, so you're actually, okay, I was almost hoping that like it would be some permutation of these 3 rows, but of course the rows are also being modified, if you will. What does it mean for us to change this by 90 degrees? This becomes a column, this becomes a column, 1, 0, 0, 1. Rotating mat in 90 degree increments, or false otherwise. I mean, definitely the brute force is doing that, right? Let's write a function to do a rotation, and then every single time we check it against the original to see if they're the same. If we do that 4 times and it's not, then I suppose that could be an answer. And maybe that is the best answer. Doesn't feel right though. But let's think about how we can take any array and just rotate it 90 degrees. And remember, we also have to take into account like 2D arrays, which, or not 2D arrays, but this grid, that's a little bit more difficult. So moving everything there, and then we're going in 1. If we write out, normally what I do for this is I write out like every coordinate. So we have 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 2, and then we have 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 0, 2, 1, 2, 2. What does that become? So the thing at 0, 0, if I rotate it, right, it becomes the same column, but at 0, 2, 0, 1 becomes 1, 2. And then let's see, row 0, 2 becomes 2, 2. Okay, and then 1, 0 becomes 0, 1. Okay, so I think this is just going to be 0, 1, 1. And this is going to be 2, 1. This is, again, I guess that's sort of the pattern, right? Pattern is the x always goes 0, 1, 2. And then the y on the outside, yeah, this should not be 0, 0, 1, 0, and 2, 0. This is our pattern for that rotation. Now, if I'm doing this, if we're starting from the outside, now what happens if I have one that's 4 by 4? How long can this be? N is up to 10. So I mean, right now this is starting at 0, 0. This is 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2. 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2. But now when I get to the next point, if I get to like the inner circle, if this was a 4 by 4, how do I do the next one? We'd be starting, we can do, I guess we can do like the complete outside first. And then do we do the inside too? I'm gonna need to draw that out to like really see. Let's see, let's open up a new thing here. Trusty Excalidraw. It's the easiest. I wish there was just like an easier way for me to draw a grid. Yep, just drawing a grid right here, just so I have like a clearer picture of all this. Drawing is extremely important for LeetCode questions. Highly recommend it. So here, like when I'm coming to this part, I want to do like 0, 0. Well, this is 0, 0 out here. Imagine we do this whole thing. This goes there. Okay, that's fine. Now when I get here, this is going to be 1, 1 becomes row 1, 2. And then row 1 of 2 becomes row 2 of 2. Row 2 of 2 becomes row 2 of 1. And row 2 of 1 becomes 1, 1. Now this is 1, 2, 2, 1 and 2, 2, 1, 1. 1, 1, 2, 2 and 1, 2, 2, 1. So how is it that we account for that one outside? I remember like really going over this question. Wait, 0, 1, 2. Really like having to like think about this question hard when I did like the original like rotate array. I might be overcomplicating it though. Find rotation. Because I need to move these this way. And there's no like obvious pattern here, right? This one goes to here. And then 0, 1 goes to there. 0, 1, 2 goes to here. And then 0, 1, 2, 3 goes to there. Okay. Here, actually, does it even... Here goes to here. Actually, do I need to worry about... No, I do, right? Because that's just gonna... Or I guess let's just try that out. 1 second. Let me see something. If we just code this out, like let's say we make a function called const rotate 90 degrees. Here we'll take a grid. MD Shahryar is coding along. Hello. Thank you so much for joining in on the fun, MD Shahryar. Are you MMD by any chance from Discord, or like a previous subscriber that I had? His name on YouTube was like MMD. So I see MD here and it just reminds me of that user. If not, welcome. But if you are the same person, also welcome. Glad to have you around. Thanks for subscribing. So what if here we did, let's try to do something where we follow this pattern. I might not be taking care of that inner square, but I'm just curious. So here, let's see, what I want on the outside is the row. So for let row equals 0, row less than grid dot length, row plus plus. For let column equals 0, column less than grid dot length, column plus plus. So this is always 0, 1, 2. So here we'll say grid of what? Row column equals, it's going to be column. So it'll be grid of column, but then this one outside needs to be, let's see, grid. I think it's just grid dot length -1 minus I. I think it's something like that. But I think I'm also missing something else here. Because if I just copy it like that, am I actually rotating anything like this? Let me see if I just do console.log rotate 90 degrees of mat. Let's go ahead and comment all this out. I don't think it's like this, but I just haven't done the rotation thing in a long time. Minus column. Undefined. I feel like I've been getting undefined answers recently. Of course, because we're not returning grid here. Okay, there you go. Like yesterday, I was getting like not a number for some output that I could have sworn was a number, and now it just like looks so weird. Okay, so 1 1, 1 1 and 1 1. Yeah, we're not actually. Yeah, I see what the issue is here. I'm not taking care of all the corners, and I still need to take care of the thing in the middle. So if we go back here, if we just focus on, I guess if we do like a 3 by 3, if we do something like this, yeah, we need to set 0 0. So let's see if we can do that. Let's do. How should I start this? Maybe grid of row column should be equal to, right? This is where we need the mapping again. 0 0 is going to be equal to, let's see, row 2 column 0. Row 2 column 0 will be equal to row 2 2. Row 2 2 will be equal to row 0 column 2, and then finally 0 2 will be equal to 0 0. And the next time we'll have to do the same swap for here. So 0 1 will be equal to row 1 column 0. Row 1 column 0 will be equal to row 2 column 1. Row 2 column 1 will be equal to row 1 column 2. And row 1 column 2 will be equal to row 0 column 1. Yeah, this is pretty much what I'm getting at here. I think that's the piece that I was missing. So how can we codify this now? Because we have 0 0 and 2 2, 0 2 2, but then here we still have a 1 and a 2. Like this just becomes like very tricky. Like how are we keeping track of like why here is it 2, but then here, or here it's 2 and then here it's 1. 2 0. So how can we? Well, actually, I guess that's fine. Maybe this is just the one that's going down. So let's do grid of row column, which will give us our 0 0. I'm just starting at this line here. How do we get to 2 0 now? I know that 2 is going to be subtracting 1. So I think what I have to do here is say grid of, let's see, row grid dot length minus 1 minus row. And this will also be equal to, let's see, 0. Maybe we can set this to column. And then grid of this same thing here. Grid of grid.length minus 1 minus row at column is equal to grid, let's see, 2 2 and 2 1. So maybe this should also be grid.length minus 1 minus row. And then that part there, 0 0 2 0. Then it goes to 0 1 1 0, which means in the next iteration, this all has to. I can't remember. Like this is all a single iteration, and then we get to 0 1. Or are we always going through the columns that way? Man, I haven't done this rotation stuff in a long time. Is this even like the right way of doing it? I'm not saying it can't be, but like, it's too early to look at a hint, right? It's too early, and it's also like too late in the stream. Let me see what's next, because I don't want to spend too much time just trying to solve this one without at least getting one for a live stream. What's thousand separator? Given an integer n and a dot as the thousand separator. Wait, add a dot as a thousand separator and return it in string format. Wouldn't that just be like at every third position? Like if I start from here, give it an integer n, which is given as a number, so that makes it super annoying. Add a dot as the thousand separator and return it in string format. Does it always match up like that though? If I have 1 million, I go here. No, it's 100,000. 10,000, 100,000, million. If I go 3, okay, and I go 3, so we could do that. If I'm going based on the length, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it'd be 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So maybe at every single, the reason I switched from this question here is because I'm trying to get at least one question done for the stream, because since it's going to be short, I need to do at least one. Given an integer n, add a dot as the thousands separator and return it in string format. If I think of this, if I think of the million here, and each one of these things as indices, I really want to add it where? In like index 1. So let's say 0, 1 here. So this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, but then 9 is already length. So 2, 3, 4, 5. I guess anything after, wait, no, that would be 0, 1. Can we just like splice it? But is that also the most optimal way of doing it? 9, 8, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. Or we can also do like 1, 2, 3 dot, and then keep going. 1, 2, 3 dot. Yeah, I guess we could do that. Because I feel like I'd like to start, but it'd be easier if I start in the beginning. Oh, you know what I could do also? We can start, let me see. Oh, but that wouldn't work because 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, what if we make this a string, right? We say const n to string equals string of n. Here I can say that if, because what's the length of this? 0, 1, 2, 3. So if n to string dot length is less than or equal to 3, we can just return n to string, right? Because we don't need to add anything. But as soon as it's greater, we can add let digits equal, I'm going to say 2 here because look what I want to do. I can create a new string. I can set digits to 2. And I can start at like 1 here. Let's say this is I, right? If digits is not 3, I'll just add the character, so that's 1. Then I increment digits to 2, or rather to 3. Then I come to 2. Digits is 3, so I add a dot, but I don't move the I in this case. But I do set digits back down to 0. Okay, so right here, when I add it, it will be a 2 and 2 string. Oh, you mean just like, yeah, I guess we can also actually, but the thing is, does JavaScript like box a number literal directly to, I can't remember if that will actually just work like that. Yeah, I don't know if like boxing works for like just a number like this, or if I would have to do, I would have to like convert it to a number first. I'm not sure I can just do n to string like that. I don't know if that's what you meant, John. But good to see you again. Thanks for joining. So then when we reset it to 0, we're back here. We see that it's not 3, so we just increment it. That's fine. Let's try like our, well, let's just kind of go like this and figure it out. Let digits, and then we'll say let output equal this. Let digits, let output, and then we'll also say let index equal 0. Here we can say, well, index is less than n2 string. So let's see. If digits is equal to 3, we'll do something else. We'll say output dot push n2 string. We can push n2 string at the current index, and then n2 string, or rather index plus plus. Index plus plus, and we'll say digits plus plus. And then if it is 3, what do? We do output dot push a period, and we'll say digits equals 0. And then the next time we come around, 2, 3, 4. So let's do like let's just do like this right here. So I'm going to start index over here. Digits is 2. We have our output. Everything's good. Okay, so while index is less than n2 string, which it is, if digits is equal to 3, which it's not, so output n2 string index. So here we just push 1. We increment digits to 3 and index to 1, and we also increment this. If digits is equal to 3, now we push a dot, and digits is equal to 0. Okay. Now, if digits is equal to 3, which it's not, output dot push, we push the 0. Digits 1, 1, index 1, 1, not equal to 3. So we push another 0. Digits plus plus, index plus plus. Let's see, if digits equals to 3, it's not. So we increment both of these guys. And this, you know what though? I just thought about something, because if it's 10,000, maybe I might be thinking too much of the nice case here, because if I add 1 0 here, I'll add my dot. Yeah, the dot can't always come, so I guess we probably have to start from the back. Yeah, I guess we'll have to start from the back too. Yeah, I can't start from the front. It would have to be from the back, because if I have 10,000, we can do the same thing. So what would be a nice way of doing this one? Because I don't want to add, or can I make room? Maybe I can make an array that has enough room to fit the periods and the digits. So how much, like if I have 3, I need 0, right? If I have length of 4, I need 1. Here I need 2. If I have 1 more, yeah, right, I'll still need 3 here. Here we'll need 2. I don't know why I put 2 here. Here we'll need 1. Here we'll need 1. And then we'll need 2 here. So what's the difference here? The length of this is 3, 4, 5, 6. So 7. Is it just depending on how many times? So I'm thinking here, like 3 goes into 4 once, 3 goes into 5 once, but 3 goes into 6 twice. So it'd be nice if, like, if this was, it becomes 2. And if I make it 10 million, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, still the same thing. 100 million, still the same thing. So here we only need 3. I think my new thing would be like, I would like to like create an array that has as much space as I need to be able to hold the digits, and then using some other trick like this digits thing, I can just add a dot there. But I'm trying to think of, and then maybe let me make another note here. So this is the length, right? Or how many digits are in there? We have 3 digits here. I know maybe this this sort of example I'm doing, maybe it's not very clear, but here I have 4, here I have 5, here I have 6. This is the amount of digits in the string. So only when we get to 7 do we need 2. But everything up to 6 is fine. So then at 7 we need 2, at 8 we need 2, at 9 we need 2, and then at 10 we need 3. Seven, 8, 9, 10. Here we need 3. How many times does 3 go into 10? 3 times. But 3 also goes into 9 3 times. So maybe it should just be length minus 2. That seems very strange. Three goes into, that's 0, and that's length 3. So is it just length minus 1? How many times does 3 go into length minus 1? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that's 5, and then 7, it goes twice. Oh, so maybe we can do that. Amount of commas needed. Okay, well, let's keep this logic up here. Let's do const commas needed is n2 string dot length minus 1 modulo 3. Oh no, wait, this is not going to give me what I want. I need to do 6 divided by, yeah, math.floor. This should be math.floor of n2 string dot length minus 1 divided by 3, right? Because 5 divided by 3 is 1, 7 divided by 3, that's 2, so that will give us what we need. This will give us how many commas we need. What I think I can do from here, okay, let's kind of, let me comment all this out now. Because now I can do const new array, or I can say const output is equal to a new array that's the same size as n2 string dot length plus commas needed. And now I think I can essentially do the same thing just from the back now. And every time I count 3, like if I'm over here, if my number is this, and let's again say that we have I here. So it's like I equals 1, we increase digits, 2, we increase digits, 2, here we increase digits. We can like push this, and then we'll just also add an I in the next one. Not an I in the next one, we'll add a period in the next one. So we have output, let's say const index equals output dot length minus 1. Okay. Let's also say n2 string index equals n2 string dot length minus 1. while n2string index is greater than or equal to 0. I think we can really just do like the same thing now. I can have another, and let's not make this, these need to be let. Let's put these together here. While n2string index is greater than or equal to 0, I think what I want to do is I can still have digits, let digits equal 0. So if digits is equal to 3, do something else. What do? We say output at index equals to n2string at n2string index. We also do n2string minus equals 1 and index minus equal 1 and digits plus or equals 1. So if we think about the output, so let's see, what's the length of this? So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 minus 7 divided by 3 is 2. So we're going to need what? 2 commas, right? One there and one there. So we're going to create a new array that has 10 slots. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And now let's go through this whole thing. I think that's how I did it before. Let me just make sure I didn't mess up here. Okay, delete that comma, delete that comma. Now let's start. So index is at the end. Let's say index is here, where that I is, and I'll use n to represent n2string index. And then we'll have digits over here being 0. All right, so n2string index is greater than or equal to 0, but digits is not 3. So all I do now is output at this index will equal this 0 that's right here. So we put a 0 there. We add 1 to index, or 1 to digits. We reduce index, and we also reduce n2string index. This still doesn't apply, so we just put another 0 here. Add digits, add 1 to digits. We decrease I, also decrease n. Still doesn't apply, so we put another 0. Decrease I, add 1 to digits, decrease n. Now digits is equal to 3, so what we should do here is now I should say output of index should just equal a dot, right? So we'll put a dot here, and then what I can do here is say digits equals 0 and index minus equal 1. So we'll get to the next one here. And now we start again. So this is 0. We'll add the 0 here. Digits plus or equals 1. Reduce index. Reduce n. Increase digits by 1. We'll add another 0 here. Decrease I. Oh, decrease index, decrease n. Add another 1 to digits. Add another 0, decrease index, oh, decrease n, but now here we add a dot, right? Digits is equal to 0, index minus equal to 1, and then we just finish off on these last two where we're just adding 1 and 0. So one thing I'm going to remove is index minus equal to 1, since we see it's being done for both of these conditions. So we can just move that out of the way, some light refactoring there. So now let's remove all this. Let's remove all this. And let's see what we end up with. We're going to have to do what? Return output dot join. Let's run this and see what we get. Okay, so 987 for the first one, so that's good. So we at least know that this case works, which that's not really too difficult. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so that works for that next one. So let's submit it and see what we got. All right, 56.91. Yeah, very cool. Very happy with that. I mean, we like went through the question together. We exactly diagrammed what it is that we're gonna need, and we saw exactly what will happen at each step, which I think is very crucial. if you've been watching my streams for a while, you may have noticed that every single time I draw things out or go through everything step by step, I have like a 100% success rate of getting it right the first time, which is pretty amazing. Let's run this one more time. 10.57. Let's do it again. Okay, so it seems like we're around the 57-ish or so ballpark. If I had to, you know, if I'm thinking about, there might be a better way to do this, probably using like regex. If I'm thinking about the time complexity, I mean, we're going through, let's see each one of these different things. We're going to be creating a new array, which will take some time. But we're also going through end to string index. So I'm okay with saying it's a linear time operation. And the space complexity really here is where we get the majority of it. So the space complexity, I mean, this is just a constant. It will change depending on the size of the input, but for all intents and purposes, end to string dot length is really the thing that's driving the space complexity. So I'm confident with saying that the time and space complexity are both linear. So I feel pretty good about that. All right, so I see that now. Unfortunately, it looks like I have the most amount of watchers. I'm just going to quickly recap on something that I said in the beginning of the stream, just so that everyone knows. So I'm going to be going on vacation in 2 weeks. What I'm going to do is I'm going to keep the live streams shorter up until the time that I go to vacation, because I'm like right after this, I'm going to record a video just locally, and I'm going to schedule it to come out on the days that I'm out on vacation. That way, you know, for the people that watch my channel, it's going to be a little bit transparent to them. The only difference is it won't be live, but I want to give myself enough time to, you know, do a little bit of a live stream and also have time to record a video locally. So that's exactly what I'm going to do after this. I'm just going to record and set the videos to come out. That way, during my time off, you all have something to watch every single day. So if tomorrow, you know, when I come back live tomorrow, you might see that I'm starting off in a different section of this list. You might see some other questions that are done, and you might be thinking, well, hey, we haven't covered those on a live stream. That's because I'm planning for those on coming out during my time off. So with that being said, I feel pretty good about today's stream. I want to thank you all so much for being supportive of this channel. Somehow, some way, over the last like 24, not even 24 hours, I gained 34 subscribers, because I went to sleep with 401. And throughout the day today, I've been getting more, and now we're at 435. So if you're listening out there, I'm not sure, best nest PT, I don't know if that means like bye or something. I saw like your emojis. Your streams are so short. Yeah, no, I know. It's the reason I keep them short is because, well, I mean, one, I have like a full-time job, so I only have like some time to do this later on. And to me, this is just what fits best for my schedule. And I also make it short because I want to have some consistency on my channel. So that way, if you're starting off in this first video here, you'll see that most of my streams are an hour long, because if you're looking to, like, remember what I started this whole channel as. Like, I used to call my streams LeetCode Accountability Stream. Like, my intent with the streams was to help people stay consistent with their practice. So if I gave them an hour a day to watch, then all they know, like, it's very easy just to say I need to commit to just an hour a day. But if I have streams of like varying length, some of them are 1 hour, others are 3, maybe even longer, I think it makes it harder for people to stay consistent. So I'm going to keep going along with that. It might change in the future, but that's why on top of the streams, I'm also, you know, always putting out other content that I hope benefits anyone that's watching. So anyway, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this stream now. I'm going to record the stream that I will schedule, so that way once I go on my time off, you'll all have something to watch. And yeah, I guess that's really all I have to say. But I'm really happy for the participation we had today. I'll see you all next time for another LeetCode live stream. Take it easy and happy coding.